Hey everyone, Dr. H with your Wargame Guide at the Air Command and Staff College, here to talk a little bit about being the J4. So this video is going to serve as an introduction to the J4. It's not going to cover everything in terms of products, all the products. We're going to have separate videos on the products. We're going to have separate videos on different sections of the rules. Being a J4 is focused on supply. You're the chief of logistics, so your main responsibility is figuring out both locks, lines of communication, but also how to spend the supply points. The supply points are the main currency of how you get stuff in this game, and they're yours to spend in pursuit of JFC objectives. Your responsibilities are fairly simple. You need to advise the commander on supply point and replacement expenditures. So it's your responsibility to advise the commander what we're going to do and to help the commander understand the priorities. Excuse me. You do need to support the GIF by maintaining locks in the JOAS, so the supply portion of the rules, in terms of supply dumps, all of that stuff, that's yours to deal with. So you'll be thinking about how to do that when the time comes during the supply phases. And you'll also spend supply points to support the functional commanders. Right, so you're going to have a pile of supply points to spend, and everybody's going to want to spend them, but you have to spend them appropriately in pursuit of commander objectives. So, what are the big products that you have? You have a supply ConOps, which is basically what are you planning on spending points on? When the time comes to spend points, well, how are you going to spend those points? What are you spending them on? How do you plan to spend them? And so you're going to tell the commander how you're going to do that through the ConOps. You also have decision support matrices available to you in case things don't go quite according to plan. Your ConOps is pretty simple usually. But having an idea of how things might change based on the situation as we go through the turn is going to be important to how you do business, and the decision support matrices will help you with that. So what should you consult? Well, you should take a look at the op order. That'll lay out the overall objectives for the plan. That'll help you build your ConOps. It'll help you understand the big picture, right? It's a very big picture, beginning to end for the entire operation. So you'll know your portion of it when it fits in. And then the sync matrix, every turn, the Joint Force Commander is going to publish a sync matrix. That sync matrix will tell you what your objectives are for the turn and what everybody else's objectives are for the turn. So you'll be able to look at your job in the sync matrix, but everybody else's job in the sync matrix, and be ready to build your ConOps for the JFC and decide how you're going to do the supply point spent in your job as part of executing overall objectives, right? What are the rules you need to know? This supply stuff, you need to know how locks are built. You need to know the different supply rules. You need to understand how damage affects you in particular, and also what to spend your points on, right? What are your points by you each time? So you'll know how much you have to spend, and you'll know how much things cost, and then you can start prioritizing how to spend your points on any given turn in order to achieve Joint Force Commander objectives. In terms of schedule, again, we're not going to go piece by piece to this, but for the most part, you've got most of the morning to plan, and you're going to execute towards the afternoon. So you'll spend most of the morning getting ready for what you're going to do in the afternoon. You'll have some basic idea of what's happening based on the very early morning talks. You can see how things are going during the execution of the game turn, and then when it's your turn to step in, you can start getting ready to execute and be ready to do your job as the J4, both spending supply points and understanding the locks and keeping people supplied. Your big job, like I said, keep the trucks rolling, keep people fed, understand what it's going to take to replace things and how much it's going to cost. And that's the big part of the job right there. That's pretty much it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it for right now.